start with Ryan Parsons.
Hey, Jude. Hey, how has the line been able to kind of bond and like build rapport together during quarantine when you guys have had to meet virtually?
It's been different, but we just been basically meeting as much as possible, as much as we could with Coach Trout and the new O-line coaching staff, and he's done a good job of just bringing us together and keeping us as one. And our chemistry is coming along really good.
Josh Moyer.
Hey, Juice. I know everybody's been, eager to play football for a long time, but you've been waiting more than most. Can you kind of walk us through this process for you? I mean, what was it like when you found out? I mean, you've been working to get back to this point when you found out there wouldn't be a football season, and then when you found out there would be a football season, and just how eager are you to get back on the field?
Yeah, so basically, it's been it's going on 2 years now since I actually played actual football. But when the news came out that the season was getting postponed or canceled, whatever you want to call it, it's trying to it was like a letdown, but it was at the same time in my head it was just more time for me to recover and gain more strength. And at the same time, now that the season is on go, yeah, I'm just super eager just to get out there and just show people, because I know a lot of people haven't seen me play at all. So I just want to show people what I can do.
Hey, well, if nobody else's hands are raised, sorry.
We got Matt Herb, if you want to go ahead.
Hi, Juice. I wonder if you could just kind of fill us in on, just sort of how you're feeling physically, and was there a point where you really started to feel like you were back to 100%?
Yeah, right now I feel great. I feel like I'm about as close as to 100% as I've been. And I would say about it was right before they postponed it. I felt like I was ready to go. I was I didn't have no issues at all. And I just felt like I was ready to go. And then they postponed it. And now I'm ready. Just ready to go.
Go ahead, Josh.
I mean, Juice, you were in a back brace, I want to say, for about 8 months. Did you ever have any doubts yourself that you were going to be able to make it back? And what was the turning point for you where you knew that you were going to beat that you were able to get past it?
Yeah, of course I had doubt. Anytime you have injury like that, you're going to have doubt. Doubt's going to come across your head. But at the same time, I just kept pushing. I knew in my head, I just kept faith. And I knew that, hard times don't last forever. I was going to get over it. And I would say about, as soon as I got back here and as soon as my first lift, it wasn't even a lift for real. I was barely doing anything. It was my first workout with Deej, and I was like, yeah, I needed this. And he just, for real, that workout just showed me yeah, you got a long way to go. And I was just ready for the long road.
Sean Fitz.
Juice, what sort of feelings do you have now in terms of, you always get sore after games and stuff, but with the injury, I mean, do you have extra precautions that you have to take? Do you have extra steps that you need to get back to where you need to be?
I wouldn't say extra steps or precautions. It's just, I just have to pretty much just my routine. I just have a routine that I have to follow. And it's just knowing that my body's not the same as everybody else's. And that I have to do some days I might not have to do nothing, but other days I might have to be in ice tubs multiple times, ice all the time, stretching. It's just things I know my body, and I know it's different now, and I just have to be aware of that.
Go ahead, Sean.
Just to follow up on that real quick, when you say you know your body, how
Mhm.
much have you come in this period of time that you've been injured? How much has that come along in terms of taking extra steps, figuring out what you need to do from a health perspective of what, because you're on a different sort of clock than everyone else, you're on a different sort of curve than everyone else. How much have you learned about sort of even just like anatomy stuff like that?
Yeah, no, yeah, I learned a lot. I would say like with this injury, what it's taught me a lot is that like not just like when you injure something, it's so much more that goes into it. It's not just that specific injury or that specific part of your body. Like it was crazy how much like your hips, your leg, like your hamstrings, everything goes into like it can help your back. So like I was just that just like really like showed me like wow, I gotta like, you know, really stretch. Like you gotta stretch your whole body. And it really helped my back out a lot.
I'll ask a different follow up here with Troutman coming in. Where do you see your role? Are you still center? Are you guard? I mean, what are you looking to accomplish this year?
This year, really just my goal is whenever my number gets called, I'm gonna be ready. And right now I've been playing both center and guard, and I just been trying to get better, take mental reps, get as much as possible, get both positions down to a T. So where when my number is called, I'm ready to go.
New bias Wellborn.
Yes. Juice, hope you're doing well, man. Thanks for doing this. Real quick, walk me through, particularly for you, probably more than most others, walk me through those first couple of hits, those first couple of contacts since you guys put the pads and the helmets on.
Yeah, like it's been a long time, and it's just been something I've been waiting for a minute. And when it like came, I was just like, I was thinking like how I was like in my head, I'm thinking to myself like, is it gonna be different? Like how is this about to go? But then after that first hit, it was back to normal. It's football. So that first hit, I was like, yeah, I'm good to go. Wasn't no worries after that.
Sean, go ahead.
Kind of following up on that, do you remember who it was on? What the reaction was of your teammates, of the staff? I mean, was it a big deal to these people?
No, it wasn't no big deal. It was just like I'd probably say it was probably Judge Culpepper, and it was just simple pass block, and it wasn't no big deal. Just another play for real.
And then my actual question about what about Phil Troutman? What's he different from Matt Limegrover? How have you grown to know him, and what's it like to try and get to know him on through quarantine?
Yeah, well, as you said, through quarantine, it's been a challenge for everybody with like virtual meetings and everything. But getting to know Coach Trout it's been really cool, especially, you know, with his background and where he came from, like playing in Florida with Tim Tebow and all them. So yeah, it's been really cool. And he's a good coach, and he knows what he's talking about. And it's just really for us, we just gotta believe in him and trust the process and trust what he's teaching us, and good things gonna pay off.
Have you picked up on a coaching style from him yet? Like comparing him to Limegrover or anything?
What do you mean by that?
Like what kind of coach is he? I know you guys haven't had a ton of sessions, but you've seen him out on the field. I mean, is he a motivator? Is he yeller? I mean, what kind of coach?
Yeah, no, he's not really a yeller. He's just like more like he want to teach you. So he's not gonna like really yell at you unless you like keep, you know what I'm saying, keep messing up on the stuff he's telling you to fix. But other than that, he's really like a teacher. Like he's gonna show you, and he's gonna demonstrate it too. Like he's gonna do the reps and everything, and he's gonna show you, and that really helps me personally.
Josh Moyer.
Juice, you've been able to see the off seasons for a lot of your teammates, you know, the type of shape they're in now. I'm curious, has anyone's transformation especially impressed you? Like, besides yourself, if you could pick, one breakout for this season, I'm just kind of curious who you go with.
Breakout. That's a good question. Well, everybody knows Jason Owen. He's physically gifted. Like crazy. But I think one somebody that's really gonna like come up out of nowhere this year is probably gonna be Caden Wallace. He's looking really good, and he's put a lot of work in the weight room, and it's showing.
Yeah, can you talk about Caden Wallace a little bit? What is it that he brings to the table? Is he just super strong? How has he kind of evolved that makes you say his name?
Yeah, Caden, he's just showing up. His pass sets have really improved over the last year, and he's just showing that he can play. Like, he's showing that he can go. So yeah, I expect big things from him.
Sean?
Juice, you said earlier you were feeling about as close to 100% as you could feel. Do you not expect to be 100%? Do you never expect to be the same person you were before the accident, just in terms of health or anything like that?
Nah, I expect myself to be back to where I was. I wouldn't say right now like that I'm the same player that I was before the injury, because I'm not, but I'm gonna get there, and hopefully I'm gonna be even better player than I was before the injury. But yeah, the injury, I don't think it's gonna affect me at all.
John Sauber?
Juice, was there, and I apologize if you've been asked this already, but was there ever any hesitance to play again after the accident? And was this particularly meaningful to you to come back and play after, you know, everything you've been through? So when, you know, was the announcement that play was going to start again, was that particularly more meaningful?
I would say there was no hesitance. Like, I always had in my head, I'm gonna be back on the field. That was always my mindset. Never crossed my mind that football was over with for me. And for the season, yeah, like I'm just ready to play. Like, it's been a long time for real, and I'm just ready to show people who I am for real.
New bias Wilborn?
Yeah, Coach Franklin has seemed to have made it very okay for you guys to speak out on social justice issues. What have you learned from Coach Franklin on that stuff, and what does it mean to you to be empowered to be able to speak out and speak your mind?
Yeah, Coach Franklin, he done a really good job just like talking to the whole team about social injustice. And if anybody needs anything, we all know we can go to him and talk. And it's just a crazy time we live in, that stuff like that is going on still, like with police shootings and all that. And it's just, I just hope peace comes eventually to the world, and that all this will stop.
Go ahead, John.
I know you said you sort of don't feel like you're back to 100% of the player you were before. And what areas do you feel like you need to get back to 100%? Is it just a strength thing, or is it you know, you just kind of feel like you're behind in your progression kind of thing?
Yeah, like I'm just, like you said, behind my progression. I lost a lot of time, you know. I'm a little behind. I need to work on some footwork, some technique things, and just getting the feel for the game again. You know, it's a fast-paced game, and when you get back out there, it's like a lot's going on. So I just gotta get back for the feel of the game, and it'll come.
Mark Brennan?
Juice, what kind of toll did everything take on you physically as an offensive lineman? I mean, because you guys, you have to carry so much weight and all those sorts of things. Did you drop a bunch of weight? I mean, how did you kind of deal with all of that?
You mean when my injury happened?
Yeah, I'm sorry. When your injury happened, because I have to imagine as an O lineman, it's tough to be as big and everything as you need to be.
Yeah. So when my injury happened, I was about like 295. I was the highest I've been since I was the highest I was since I got to Penn State. And like as soon as the injury happened, I think I lost about 20 pounds. So it was just, and the weight thing really wasn't in my head. It was just the fact that I needed to get back to healthy. And as soon as my back got healed, the weight was easy to put back on for real.
Where are you now?
Right now I'm about 290.
John Sauber.
What was your journey back from that injury like for you? Was there, I know you said there's never hesitance to play football again, but were there ever times you felt like you might not be able to get there just from a physical standpoint?
Yeah, there was times, there's times in adversity, there's gonna be times that you start doubting yourself and things like that. But in my head, and I had a great support cast with the team and my family and everybody that was on my side. I knew that I was gonna be back, and I just kept that in my head that I was just gonna be back on the field, and that I just knew I got something to prove, and I got something to show people.
Bonnie Collins.
Just were there one or two people who helped you that you kind of really relied on throughout the process? And at what point did you start to feel like it was more likely than not that you were going to be able to come back?
I wouldn't say like there was like it was a lot of people in my corner for real. So I'm not just going to single out anybody, because everybody really helped me that was in my corner, and they know who they are. And what was the second question? My bad.
Oh, at what point was there a certain point where it felt like it was more likely than not that you were going to be able to come back after the early part of the process?
Oh yeah. I feel like when my back brace came off, that's when I knew it was like, yeah, like I could be back out there. I would be back out there eventually. Cause once that back brace came off, it just felt like a monkey got off my back for real.
Andrew Porterfield.
Hey, Juice, thanks for doing this. We talked to Will Levis earlier, and he described Michael Minute as a 30-year-old dad. What is Michael in the locker room?
Yeah, Minute just brings a lot of leadership. He got a lot of experience, a lot of leadership. And it's funny because, like, the first time I got here, he was, like, the first person that was helping me, like, with my sets and stuff. And I had no idea who he was or nothing. And I look at him and I'm thinking like, yo, he must be a senior. And he was like a junior and he looked super old. And so, yeah, but Minute, yeah, he brings a lot of leadership and he's a really good player.
Mark Brennan.
Juice, how long were you in the back brace, and what was that like for you? Just, your day-to-day living, dealing with that.
So I was in the back brace about 8 months, roughly. And it was, at first, it was hard. I had to go around this little scooter and it was just, I could barely walk. It was like when I would walk, after a little while, it would start to hurt. And it was super painful. But like once you I got used to the back brace, it was like, it really helped my, my posture. And cause it had me so straight up, I was just always straightforward. So it had definitely some good things to it, but it was definitely a pain.
Mark Brennan.
I don't know if I ever asked, or have people asked, what was the actual problem after the accident that you had to get taken care of?
So I broke my L3 vertebrae, and it just had to heal on its own. I didn't need no surgery or anything. It just took time, and it had to heal.
Rich Scarcella.
Juice, in the days following the accident, did you ever think that you'd get to this day that you'd be able to return to play? One, and two, was there a low point through the rehab?
What was the second question?
Was there a low point through the rehab?
Oh yeah, well yeah, like when it happened, when I was in the hospital, it was like when it happened, it was hard to believe. Like it didn't seem real. But then when I came to realization, like yeah, like that was the whole time in my head. I'm like, yeah, I got to get back. And now that I'm back, I was just like, I just knew I was gonna get here, and it just goes to show you that hard work it's gonna take you a long way. And there was definitely some low points during rehab. You know, there was me and the trainers. The trainers did a wonderful job with me because I know I could be a pain sometimes, but it was just sometimes it was just low points. Like my back wasn't like getting any better. I remember before the bowl last year, before we went to Dallas, I was feeling great. Like my back was doing wonderful, and I was supposed to start getting practice reps during the bowl game prep. And then all of a sudden, I just had like a crash. My back just took a turn for like a worse. I started having crazy spasms and everything. And when that happened, I was just like, oh man, like what are we going to do? And the trainers just did a wonderful job of just staying positive and just staying with me and knowing that I was going to get through it. And they did a hell of a job.
Dave Jones.
Juice, offensive linemen are usually known to prefer running the ball. Is that true about you? Because you guys have some really good running backs and could become known for running the ball this year. What's intrinsic about it that you like?
Yeah, like first of all, that's how that's how I describe my game to begin with, was a run style blocker. But running the ball, man, it's different. It's different. Like in the trenches, when you run the ball, you gotta push that man back, and it's just something about it that you just, as an offensive lineman, you have no choice but to love. Like if you're an offensive lineman, you love running the ball because you get to force your will on another man, and you get to push him back. And with our running backs, man, we gotta run the ball. Like it's just something we're gonna have to be able to do, and we will be.
Thanks.
Rich Scarcella.
Juice, what was that first day like for you back on the practice field? And secondly, what kind of guy has Menet been, and what kind of leader has he been to this team?
Oh, that first day back, it was like I was a kid in Christmas. Like it was wonderful. If it just felt so good just to be back on the field, and just to know like I'm not gonna just be going when the team come together and do reps. I'm not gonna be going over there to do my daily routine, stretching and all that. I can actually play, and it just felt so good. And Menet has been just been a great leader for the whole team. And for me personally, he's helped me a lot. Like he's showing me a lot of things, like what break down the film and everything. Like he's such a smart player, and I just take as much knowledge as I can from him.
Mark Brennan.
Juice, you said you didn't think you were at 100%. Where would you put yourself if you had to? And one other quick one, how did you get your nickname?
I would say right now I'm probably like 90 to 95%. So I'm gonna be 100% in no time. And my nickname, it came from when I was little. My dad gave it to me because I guess I just always drank juice when I was little. I just always wanted juice. So it just stuck like from the time I think probably before I was 1, and from my on, I just always been Juice.
So he actually tabbed you, Juice, off of that?
What'd you say?
Did he actually tab you with that name, like when you were?
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Rich.
Thank you, Chelsea. Juice, one last thing from me. Where was the accident? And was it near your home? And was it a one-car accident? Can you at least tell us that?
I'm not gonna get into too much detail about it, but it was. I was on my way home, and it was like about 30 minutes from home. Okay. And yeah, it was a one-car accident.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions for Juice?
I'll ask.
Go ahead, Rich.
Juice, who are some of the younger offensive linemen that you think have a very bright future at Penn State?
One I said already was Caden. Another one would be Olu. Olu's gonna be really good. And he has so much raw talent right now. And when with him being with Trout, and Coach Trout's just gonna fix him up and get his technique down and everything, he's gonna be really good. And another one I would say would be Sal Wormley. Sal is really super strong. And when he figures out how to use his strength, it's gonna be a problem.
Mark Brennan?
Hey, kind of building off that, are there some young D linemen that you've noticed who have kind of stood out? Maybe guys that we haven't seen, not the Mustafers and all those guys, we know about them, but guys we don't know about.
Oh yeah, for sure. I got two in my head right now. Akeem Beeman and Devon Ellis. Them two got a bright future, a real bright future.
How come? What stands out to you about them?
They're just powerful, explosive, and for them to be so young and them to have some of the moves they have in their toolbox, it's impressive.
Any other questions? Okay, thanks everyone.
Thanks, Juice.